Hello, and welcome to the first episode of my Mob Spawner tutorials. Okay, as you can see, I'm in a creative mode, super flat world with a whole bunch of half slabs. This is to simulate a world that has been completely lit up on the ground, and the caves have been completely lit up. Because in every mob spawner, you're going to need those things for a perfect, good efficiency. So, for my tutorial, I'll be using this design for a T flip-flop. It uses the new repeater function of 1.4. As you can see, it works just like any other one. You hit the button once, that fades, hit it again, turns off. Okay, so let's get down to business. Now I'll be doing a few basic things today, like showing usual layout of mob spawners and collection techniques. Okay, so start off with um, a nice panel here to spawn some mobs on. Now, since this is the only place that's not lit up, well, at nighttime, it will be able to spawn as many mobs as possible, hopefully. Now, one important thing to know about mob spawners is that you don't have to have your world completely lit up. You need to have at least 128 blocks from each edge of the spawner lit up. And that's usually a highly efficient mob spawner, and usually the kinds of mob spawners that require that high efficiency are endgame ones. But I'm going to use basic materials to show that you can make mob spawners whenever you want to, using little resources that you need. So now we got a platform. A lot of the times, people lay out for the first mob spawners just a 2x2, and this is pretty good. And they have it within a small range of each other, so then they can pop down all the mobs that they want. Ah. Anyways, I will get back when I have finished making this panel. So when you're finished, it should look like this. Now, your options for water streams are slightly limited, but yeah. So either you can make them flow to a center point here, or you can make them flow off the edge. Now, the center point is usually used for more symmetrical spawners that are more for design purposes, and to use like a drop. But for ones where you want to collect your mobs, you'll probably use one that slides to the side, like over here. For this demonstration, I'll use a hole in the ground. Now, an important thing you need is some signs and water. Obviously, you will need to have water for your water spawner. So now you can either use this technique, where you have the water drop off right here, which is probably the best one you can use. And you can just drop some streams in the corners first. So now they drop off pretty much perfectly if you do a 10 by 10 here. So you don't really need the signs necessarily, but they are definitely useful when you have different sized spawn areas. This is a basic floor of a design that I saw on a few YouTube channels like Etho and Monkey Farm did one like this. You can all go check those guys out for more stuff, but I'll be continuing with a lot of information in depth for this series, episode by episode, adding more to the complexity of the spawners. So as you can see, no monsters are spawning right now. That's because I'm in peaceful mode, so I can show the full effectiveness of this. Okay, so basically the monsters would walk off into the streams and fall into their collection pit. So we can walk away for a little bit. Another important thing is that you have to be at least 24 blocks away from a spawner to actually spawn more stuff. So we will just go into hard, or, let's go into hard. And back away for a few seconds. Come back when we have some spawns. Now as you can see, a few mobs have spawned, and this is a completely efficient world. There's no caves and no place for mobs to spawn outside of the spawner. As you can see, it's not the most efficient design. There's only like about 5 or 6 mobs in there. So later on I'll show you more advanced ways to collect mobs. But this is one of the easiest ways to get a small start to mob collection. Okay, we're back with another design. As you can see, there is a platform up here for spawning mobs, and you can spawn as many as you want. And then you have a collection pit down here. Now what I've done is hook up some dispensers with water buckets in the back. So if you were to run this button down to the front of the spawner, you can activate them, pushing all the mobs into the collection chamber, where you could use any form of torture or transportation you wished to kill them. Death by creepers. So yeah, that's all I have for today. So basically, you've seen two formats for mob spawning. One is more efficient than the other. This one is much more efficient because it can spawn more mobs, and you can get them out of there fairly quicker than the other ones. And the ability to use more complicated techniques on that is easier than this one, because this one you'd only have chance that they'd fall into that pit. So yes, that wraps up episode 1, and hope you learned something. Bye.